I'm delighted to be joined by Ray Biggin, the drummer for Level 42. We're playing in Cardiff, St.Davids Hall tonight, part of a 19-date tour, the Eternity Tour. Date 15, I think it is, Pete, as well, and something like that. It's going well, I take it.
It's just a big long day at the moment. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the journey? Because you were in Liverpool yesterday.
We were at Liverpool Philharmonic last night, which was really good. Like, yes, everyone just got up to dance. It was a seating venue. It was just like the vibe was amazing, man. Yeah. It's crazy.
And then on to Bristol after. So
Bristol,
seems reasonably well scheduled.
It is, yeah. I mean, the tour, it's been the best tour so far. And it's always a bit hard, you know, the first few gigs, because you're trying to judge. I mean, Mark's trying to judge, is this the right sort of set list? Is this, you know, but he's had nothing but good write-ups and reviews about it, and just good feedback. There's been not one bad sort of like comment or anything about it, which is great, you know. So he's pulling out like instrumentals from the early tapes, and you know, some songs that have been on record on earlier albums that Level 42 never played live, you know what I mean? So it's quite nice. And then obviously you've got your hits in there as well. So it's kind of it's been a really good tour so far, you know. It's
I think next year will be 40 years of Level 42. You've been with the band since 2010. We were talking a little bit before about when you got that call from Mark King. This was your favourite band growing up. You had a chance to go on Gary Husband's kit in the early 90s at a gig when you went to see them. What was that like, getting that call?
Well, it was just a bit weird to start with. I mean, I was playing with Incognito at the time, and I got a call at 9 o'clock one morning, and I was like, hello, and it was like, hey, it's Mark King, you know, sort of thing. And I think I said, what took you so long to call? You know, but yeah, it was just, it was nice. My name got around, and Gary couldn't make the 2010 tour, so I was supposed to be just kind of filling in, but I think, you know, once I started playing with Mark, and it just sent right, and you know, and I also said to Mike, I was like, you know, I remember meeting you guys in 1991 at Sheffield City Hall, and I played Gary's kit, you know, and it was just so big. It was like this. And but Mike had a big camera at the time, and it took him 3 years to find the footage, but he eventually found it and put some music behind it and put it online, you know. It's just like, so yeah, man, you know, it's like dreams happen, you know, and it was the right gig for me, I guess.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Incognito there as well. That was another one of your favourite bands growing up. You got the opportunity to play with these bands that are kind of, you know, it's the dream gig, I suppose, for you. And at a relatively young age. So, you know, still at a young age now, but to have got those gigs, you know, in drummer terms, but like to have got those gigs sort of around, you know, in your 20s or early 30s, that must be sort of quite something to have kind of achieved that. Almost sort of, where do you go from there then?
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, what do you do when you played with your heroes? You've got to start your own band, you know, and that's what I did, and you know, I started working on production and becoming a better studio drummer, which people don't really see me as that, because they see me on the stage level just being like a crazy dude, you know what I mean? But actually, when it comes to the studio, you know, I'll probably just set a kick snare and a hat up and play really quietly, you know. It's just like, because the drums sound fantastic recorded like that. So there's two sides of my drumming, and mainly people see one side, but I love the studio element as well.
I was going to ask you about P-Bug stuff, because that's just that is your sort of heart and soul, that's your passion. You've got that creative control over it as well, and you know, I watched some footage, you know, some studio footage of that, and it was, you know, a different kit to what you're playing on tour here. You know, much more stripped
I've got to set it up. That's why. Mate, Level 42. I've got my boy Jem. He sets it up, so it's like, I'll just keep adding this and that, and it's like, here we go. You know.
But it's a different way of playing, as you say, and I suppose that is something you have developed over time, is it? And I suppose Level maybe has had a hand in that as well, the gigs you've been doing and the previous gigs you did, you know, Mark Ronson and Amy Winehouse and Shaka and all these people you've played with. It's learning your craft as well. Is there sort of any particular moment sort of throughout that tenure of playing where you've kind of gone, this is the wake up call, this is how I need to play here, this is how I need to play
100%. Here? You can't, I mean, look, there's a thing with confidence and being a bit full of yourself. It's a fine line, and I think you sometimes have to take your ego away to go, what does the gig consist of? What's like the gig? Because obviously when I joined Mark Ronson, you know, I was like, you know, Glastonbury, and I could see he was like, look, just can you play the parts, man? And now obviously being a producer and understanding that, and obviously writing songs and knowing my parts. If the bass player doesn't play the part, I'm like, yo, dude, what you doing, man? Play the play. So now I understand, like, you know, he took a lot of time to program the drums, and that, you know, and it was like, and I was getting up there being this crazy dude. But now it's like, you have to do what the gig consists of, man. You know, do the gig, take your ego out of it and do the gig. And the thing is with Level, I'm very lucky and blessed to have that gig to be able to do what I want anyway. So, you know, Mark sort of lets me do what I want. But with P-Bug, it's a different thing. It's more soulful. It's more fat, like kind of like, you know, Rufus sort of vibe, the fat drum, Steve Ferrone sound. So that's what I'm going for with that, you know. But yeah, you know, take your head out of your bottom and do what's right for the gig. It's not all about you, you know.
I suppose that, like, having that sort of creative element where, you know, you're doing so much with people, that's your project, and you're looking at it from that production side of things as well. That
not just from a drummer's point.
Not just from a drummer's point of view. Exactly. That sort of, I suppose, influences the way you go about your playing and your understanding, but also the other musicians in the band as well, and what's needed from those in a studio and a live setting.
Yeah. Well, you learn about production. I think these days, you know, like as musicians, we can't just be, say, a guitarist, or we can't just be a drummer. Yeah, we start off playing drums, but when you get down the line, you start, okay, I'm going to start recording myself, and then you start learning to produce, and then you start learning to mix your drums, and then you start going, oh, I've got to mix it as well, and then I better film this, and then you're the video guy, and then I better take some pictures, I'll style myself. So now it's like you've got to do everything yourself. It's not just being about being a drummer, you know, and letting everyone else do it for you. You know, it's good to take control and go, I want to go this way, and this is how I want to do it, you know.
And with the P-Book stuff, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the teacher as well, because you've got this this package that people could buy where they're playing along with the rest of the band. You've taken the drums out of it. Is, you know, beginner, intermediate, advanced level, and that is at the core of your development as a player, where playing with tracks and gigging a lot was your education.
Well, yeah, because you know, like, the fact is, there's over probably there's millions of gigging drummers who gig every weekend, like gigging musicians, and you know, it's like the key to that is, if you want to work, you need to groove, you know. And I had all this technique as a kid, you know, and then I learnt to groove later in my teens. Understood what was pissing singers off by, like, you know, like from me playing too hard and playing for myself. And this is why I say you need to take your ego out of it and do what's right for the gig. And groove is what pays bills, and that's my hashtag. Yeah. It's true. So, like, obviously, you know, I made my record and all that, and then, you know, I was doing them on drum clinics and stuff, and people were like, oh man, can you send me that track? And I'm like, no, that's my stuff, no way. And then I just thought about it, actually, you know what, if I was a kid and I could have got hold of one of my favourite bands like Incog or Level, like the record, without drums and scored out, that'd be like, whoa, that'd be... So I had to just go, you know what, this could be a good educational package for younger drummers. And also now it's like I said, everyone can record themselves now easy and listen back, and there's nothing better than listening to yourself back after a gig or whatever, and you go, oh, that's a bit dodgy, and you know, because recordings don't lie. That's how you sound, man. You know, and we just have to.
It can be a shock the first time you hear yourself as well.
Yeah, well, I still listen to myself and I go, man, that's just so, that's horrible. But I think all musicians think like we're all rubbish. You know, we all think that, and that's what makes us better. So it was a case of just doing it, you know, making it in an educational package and doing it that way. And also, like, you know, now next year I'm putting together like a drum camp as well. A bit similar to Mike Johnson's thing. I'm just going to do eight people at a time. It's a full day course and explain, you know, a couple of things that I don't see many people talking about, which is feel. Because I think every human being has a feel, you know. It's just how we connect to it, you know. We all don't talk the same, we all don't talk like robots. We've all got a feeling, every one of us have got a feeling. It's just how you get to it and bring it out, you know. And the worst thing about it is this thing up here can mess with you, you know. And when you get past this and enjoy your mistakes and all that sort of stuff, then you get to the feel, you know. But until this is right, then you'll never get to that. So my drum course is gonna be like, you know, about being a gigging drummer, groove, the feel, and studio. So it's like on coming out of the book into that now. So that's going to be my thing next year. Do you know what I mean?
And feel is something you you learn more about your field by playing with other musicians.
People
as
say
well.
you've either got feel or you haven't. I think that's totally rubbish. Yeah. You can find a way of getting to that feeling. Yeah. You know, we're all human beings, man. We all get upset. We can all be happy. We can all cry. That's a feeling, man. So it's a case of like getting to that and putting that here. You know what I mean? And I don't see many drummers talking about that. Yeah. So that's going to be my sort of thing to get to. You know.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's sort of, you know, work on the technical facility, going through sort of certain things and that. But I suppose again that's at the heart of sort of where you came from. And so I think I read somewhere that you said you sort of you practiced a lot in your early years, but then actually a lot of your practice came through playing with people, gigging and jamming to these tunes.
It's like it's the you know, I mean, I left school at 14. But you know, I left school at 14 to join this kid up in Newcastle. And my dad was like, go and do it, you know, you're not going to be a bloody teacher, you're going to be a drummer. So, you know, I learned my skill from gigging and being on the road. And it's fine going to college and all that because, you know, it's great to have the results behind you, you know. But for me, I learned my trade on the road and that's what you do. That's where you learn your trade. And then, then you learn, you just keep learning, man. That's the thing. I'm still learning.
And then when you get the big gigs start coming in, I suppose you're ready. You're ready.
Yeah, because you've done your homework, man. You've done But now it's like kids come out of uni and they go straight onto a pop gig, and this is why the pop industry is a bit crap right now because you know musicians get paid hardly any money for doing it, and it's the fact that because you come out of college, you want this pop gig. Oh yeah, I'll do the gig for £100. It's like, hang on a minute, this artist is charging £500,000, and you're doing the gig for £200. It's totally wrong now, and it's because of musicians have shot themselves in the foot wanting these gigs. So, you know, in the 80s, you had to work up the tree, man, to get the big gig, and then you come off the tour and you buy yourself a house and your mum and dad a house because the money was there. But now it's like, you know, if I can give any young musician any advice, just remember you're not in music. You look confused now.
You're not in music.
You're not in music. You're in the music business. Yeah. Right, so just understand the business side. Know your worth. Don't take no shit. Do you know what I mean? Because as musicians, someone calls you, oh, we got a gig on Saturday. Are you available? You go, yeah, cool. And then in the back of your mind, you're going, yeah, but how much is the gig?
Am I getting paid?
Because I mean, you know, you wouldn't call a plumber, and the plumber put the phone down, going, oh, I've got to fix this thing. Oh, how much am I going to get paid? No, he's going to go, this is my fee. Yeah. So it's just like we need to turn this stuff around.
Do you see a way in which that can be changed though with the tide? You can.
Yeah, it's like I said, the young musicians coming through need to know your worth and also know you're in the music business. Yeah. You know, and until that changes, you know, the money's still going to be bad until we change it.
I suppose it's thinking more collectively rather than just seeing the sort of undercutting side of it and the competitive side of it and thinking more.
You're always going to get one guy who wants to do it cheaper than you and he screws it up for the rest. But hey, man, it's like I think it got to a certain point in my life. I was like, you know what, you know, I mean, I will still do gigs for hardly any money if I just find out it was on it. If one of my mates are on it, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, man. I'll do it. £50 gig or whatever, but then if I don't really know anyone on it and the label's calling me, my fee is my fee, man, you know. Yeah. But it's, you know, it's music is love, man. It's not always about money, because we didn't get it into it for money, but it becomes a certain point you have to make it a business.
Indeed.
And you know, and be at the top of your game, you know, and people respect you for being a bit more like that as well. Yeah. You know.
Speaking of your playing with your mates, that's kind of become the case now with Level as well, and you were saying earlier that you know some of the people, guys from the Horns, are now playing in Level as well, and that's kind of
how it is.
Just how it's sort of come about. And what is that like? I suppose having that kind of nucleus of guys that you just trust when you get on stage, that you know you groove with, that you know you've got a connection with.
It's your buddies. I mean, the key is if you all get on off stage, then on stage is the easy bit. You know, that's the vibe, man. Your mates, you know, you have a laugh off stage. On stage is easy. You know.
You're going to get off a sound check soon, but we are in a drum store. We're in Drum Depot. I've got to ask you about gear. You're playing a bigger kit than ever, by the look of it, on this. Tour live.
Everyone's saying your kit's got bigger, but it hasn't. It's got there's 2 toms less. It's just it's gone upwards. Okay. It's like all my cymbals are up here, like Omar Akeem.
Yeah.
Like, I tell you, it's made the gig 50% harder as well, but it's fun.
Yeah. Tamastar kit.
Tamastar kit. Tamastar, Sabian, What else? Pro Mark, Evans, slap clats, which are great gels. Protection racket. Yeah, have I missed anyone? LP percussion. Sorry about that. They're new though.
Yeah. Oh, we'll look out for those tonight.
So I've got some timbales and some bongos on the kit. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we better let you go, but thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you, brother.
Really appreciate it. Can't wait for
Come
tonight.
to the shop. That's what I'll say. Come to the shop. Make sure you come in the shop and see these guys. There's nothing better than this, than actually doing all this online thing. You need guys like you guys, you know what I mean? And just to show you the gear. So it's great to have a really good drum shop still going.
Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
All right.